Hey there, Carnage Cravers. Welcome back to Carnage Corner. I am Ken Carnage, and welcome once again to another Wednesday edition of Stupid Shit the WWE Does. Oh, and we are getting going with NXT. If the WWE Network could work. There it goes. There it goes. Nothing like paying $9.99 for something that works only about 9.99% of the time. So, while they're getting their act together, I'm going to start talking about Monday Night Raw. First off, to all of you who joined me for the Royal Rumble, thank you. That was a lot of fun. That was probably the best pay-per-view WWE has done in quite a long time. We had some fun surprises. And, you know, a couple of things that were a little fugazi, but for the most part, it was a fun time had. So, Monday Night Raw opened up with Stephanie McMahon. And as Stephanie McMahon made her way to the ring, we found out that Jonathan Coachman is back. So, apparently WWE offered him more money than ESPN. So, which is not surprising, seeing as how ESPN firmly has their head planted in their rectum. So, that being said, Stephanie starts things out by bringing out Asuka. That's, if you remember, Asuka was the winner of the Women's Royal Rumble. And Asuka still has not made a decision as to what champion she is going to face, and Stephanie told her to wait on making that decision because because there will be a, for the first time ever, there will be a Women's Elimination Chamber match. That'll be in about 4 weeks at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, the Raw-only Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. And the Raw Women's title will be defended in the first ever Women's Elimination Chamber match. We do not know who besides Alexa Bliss will be participating in that yet, but I'm going to go out on a limb now and make a prediction without even knowing the participants involved. I think that Nia Jax will win the Women's Elimination Chamber and become Raw Women's Champion, leading to Asuka versus Nia Jax at WrestleMania, because the way they book Nia, the only person who makes any sense for her to go against is Asuka. I mean, I enjoy Alexa Bliss as a performer, but her versus Asuka is not nearly going to be as competitive a match as it should be. So, that being said, we will, Asuka cut herself a promo, you know, half in English, half in Japanese. Asuka, much in the way Rey Mysterio did, even though Rey's English was a lot better than Asuka's, Asuka can cut a promo in Japanese, and we may not understand a word she says, but you know what? We're going to sit there and nod and smile. So, and just for whatever reason, that works for her. But her English has improved greatly. The longer she's here, the better it will get. Her promo was good until it got interrupted by the Raw Women's roster's resident waste of space, Sasha Banks. Sasha came out. Sasha came out and she basically she said, because Asuka says no one is ready for Asuka, and Sasha came out and she said that she's ready for Asuka and she wanted to have a match with her that night. And Steph, she made it happen. She booked the match, so it will. We will get to that later on in the night. After that, we went into our first actual match of the evening, and it was a qualifying match for the Elimination Chamber, because the men's Elimination Chamber at Raw is going to be a #1 contendership match. Because Brock Lesnar is far too delicate to actually compete in an Elimination Chamber match. So he's going to sit that one out. And we will get a #1 contendership match. Now, if you remember, I actually called this months ago. I said Shinsuke Nakamura would win the Royal Rumble to go on to WrestleMania to fight AJ Styles. That is happening. I've also at that same time said that Roman Reigns will win an Elimination Chamber match to become #1 contender to go on and face Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. And right now on NXT we have Nikki Cross going one-on-one with Lacey Evans. Now, interesting tidbit for you that you may not know, Lacey Evans here is actually the daughter of Paul Ellering, longtime manager of the Road Warriors, current manager of AOP. And Nikki Cross is just beating the crap out of her, and now she's behind the curtain. She's in the curtain. I don't know if that's anything like being in the closet, but that's where she is. All right, back in the ring now. Let's see. She's got her hair. This is why, you know, like, seriously, long hair is not something you want in a fight. Like, just giving somebody a handle. Lacey going for the pin. Just a 1 count. I would have liked to have seen Nikki Cross in the Women's Royal Rumble, but that did not happen. I like Nikki. She plays crazy very well. Married you, didn't I? So. Alright, so while this match is going on, I'm going to go ahead and continue here. So, as I said, the qualifying match, we got a qualifying match so you want to qualify for the Elimination Chamber match where you might win a chance to face the champion at WrestleMania. So, the first qualifying match was a last man standing match between Braun Strowman and Kane. This match got started quickly, and it ended quickly, with Braun Strowman flipping the entire stage that the Raw announce table sits on, the entire stage, over onto Kane. Kane could not answer the 10 count, and Kane was taken out on a stretcher. And Braun Strowman qualifies for the Elimination Chamber. Corey tried to interview Braun. You know, it's kind of funny. Watch Corey creep over with a microphone. Braun? Yeah, why'd you bother? So in either case, you know, Braun's promos are always very, very short and sweet and to the point, as they should be. He should not be an intellectual speaker. When you are, you know, 6'7", 6'8", 385 pounds, in this business, you're not required to be an intellectual speaker. Not at all. Nikki Cross has just beaten Lacey Evans. If you are surprised by that, you probably haven't been watching NXT for very long. So, moving on from there. As I said, Kane was stretchered out. We then get a shot backstage of Kurt Angle approaching Braun Strowman, very upset because Braun has once again injured someone. Yelling at Braun, telling him to give her, you know, come on, Braun, give me a break. And Braun looks at him and goes, you want a break? Okay. And Braun is quiet for about 30 seconds, and then he starts screaming at Kurt after saying, there's your break. So that was actually funny. We then got another qualifying match, which was Elias Sampson versus Matt... Excuse me. It was Elias... they don't call him Elias Sampson anymore. He's just Elias now. You remember when all these people had last names? Or they had two names anyways? I mean, Rusev was Alexander Rusev. Cesaro was Antonio Cesaro. You know, he was Elias Sampson. Why is everybody trying to be like Madonna now? Or Cher? What's with the one-word shit? Stop. Real names. Anyway, so Elias versus Matt Hardy, a qualifying match for the Elimination Chamber. During the course of that match, homeless, dirty Santa Claus on meth, bath salts, whatever, decided to come onto the Titantron and distract Matt Hardy, who was also several sandwiches short of a picnic at this point, which led to Elias being able to get the win over Matt Hardy. So Elias will qualify for the Elimination Chamber match, and Matt Hardy will not, which lends itself to another one of my predictions that at WrestleMania we will get a one-on-one match between Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt. So, yeah, and so Bray comes on the Titantron and he laughs, and Matt Hardy laughs. They have another one of their laugh-offs, which is retarded. That being said, we then went into the Intercontinental Championship match, Roman Reigns versus The Miz. Roman trying to regain the Intercontinental Championship from The Miz, and Roman was not able to get the job done. There was some distractions, of course, from the Miztourage, but long story short, in the end, the Miz did retain his Intercontinental Championship, which of course makes me happy. As far as what's going to happen going forward for the Miz, where WrestleMania is concerned, I had a theory that Miz would end up losing the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania to Braun Strowman. And I figured they would use the Mixed Match Challenge to set that up. I thought it would be good to have Asuka defeat Alexa in the Mixed Match Challenge, causing the team of Asuka and Miz to advance and the team of Alexa and Braun to not advance, and that Braun would then go after Miz because he was upset. But they did not do that. So I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do at this point. It's kind of up in the air. I still say that if they're not going to put the Universal title on Braun at WrestleMania, which they're not, let's be honest, that they should put the Intercontinental Championship on him. Put a title on the boy and let him, wreak a path of destruction. But I don't really know what's going to happen. I do know this. I know that Miz's daughter is due to be born, 2 days after WrestleMania? So 2 days before WrestleMania. So for all we know, Miz may drop it before WrestleMania in order to get the time off. I don't really know what they're going to do.
WrestleMania, daughter being born.
Well, if it was Triple H, what decision he'd make. He would definitely be at WrestleMania. But I tend to think Miz might be just a little more sensitive than the juiced up blockhead that is inherently going to inherit this company. But who knows? It's his decision. It's his life. That being said, they then went into the Hall of Fame announcement that the Dudley Boys will be joining Bill Goldberg in this year's Hall of Fame class. And just to let you know just how how old I am, they started this package with a bit talking about how there are three commandments. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal. And of course, if you were a fan of the Dudleys back in ECW, you know that the third commandment is, of course, that thou shalt not fuck with the Dudleys. So when that started up, I finished it, and my wife looked at me like I was insane.
I did no such thing. I do that often.
And then they played Devon saying, "Thou shalt not mess with the Dudleys," because that was the version that the WWE had them say. I personally preferred the personally preferred the ECW Dudleys. I love the Dudleys, period, but in ECW, they were the greatest heels in the world. I mean, in what other type of wrestling company can a man, in this case Bubba Ray Dudley, get on the microphone and insult a crowd to the point of saying, "And here we have a mother who taught her daughter to suck cock." Yep, he actually said that to the crowd. And I laughed my fucking ass off. But neither here nor there. This is the WWE, and it's more kid-friendly than it's ever been. So break out Barney and the Flintstones. They're going to be in the next Royal Rumble match.
Yay!
and I will bring my gun. Okay, both of you stop it. Stop it. Stop it. No. No. This is not sing along with Carnage, okay? No. Alright, so after the Hall of Fame announcement, we got the little backstage on the camera promo for Finn Balor talking about why he's going to beat John Cena to qualify for the Elimination Chamber match. We then went into a backstage interview with, or I should say a gorilla position interview with Sasha Banks, who talked about why she's going to beat Asuka, and then went out to face Asuka and lost.
Oh, no shit.
It was a good match. It was a good night. Good night. I got to see Sasha Banks get the life choked out of her and tap like a little bitch. I enjoyed it thoroughly. And then of course we get a on camera backstage little tidbit from Cena talking about how all he wants to do is go to WrestleMania. Yes, because you haven't been to enough of them. You proverbial spotlight stealer with your precious golden shovel for burying young talent.
I think he built it up.
And I think he needs to take that sex doll he's marrying and go fuck off somewhere.
Haterade. I like Nikki Bella. Stop being a hater.
You like her because she's dumber than you.
I do not.
Yes, you do.
I do not. And that's insulting. I'm officially not talking to you starting now.
She's a lot dumber than you. Is that better? I'm failing to see how I insulted my wife here, but that's okay.
You called her dumb.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
I said that Nikki was dumber than her.
Dumber.
Exactly.
You're dumb. She's dumber than you.
Is this female logic?
That's like me saying you're dumber than your father.
First off, that's not true.
Male logic.
Male logic, yes.
Secondly, if you tell me I'm dumber than Albert Einstein, I'll say yes. Yes, I am. If you tell me I'm smarter than...
Einstein wasn't dumb.
Yes, I know. If you tell me that Pee Wee Herman is dumber than me, I'm not going to take it as you insulting my intelligence. Well, no shit they did. I had to teach myself English.
Like I said.
In either case, now that I'm done with my pointless debate, I never lose. Then we go into the Bar versus Titus Worldwide. This was a pointless match. It really was. I really am surprised that, I get the feeling that they're trying to push Sheamus through until WrestleMania. I was surprised they put the tag titles back on them. I cringe every time he gets into the ring to wrestle now because, every bump he takes could be the bump he doesn't walk away from because of the spinal stenosis. So, and they are being careful with him. You can tell that they are, but,
Maybe he wants to ride it out till after WrestleMania.
You know what? I'm sure that he does, and I don't blame him. I really don't, And it must not be so dire that, their doctors are saying, no, you can't do that.
Should have made him cruiserweight manager. That would have been better than the guy they put in.
What the hell does Sheamus know about cruiserweights, though?
Who cares? He's a wrestler. Wrestling's wrestling. I don't care what weight you're in.
And you have just shown your ignorance to the world of wrestling.
I know. I'm not smart. I'm sorry.
I didn't say you weren't smart. It's an ignorance. Ignorance does not correlate to intelligence.
I like having someone around with a brain.
You always do. I'm right here.
Just continue with your stories.
So, and here come the Ely brothers. We haven't seen them in a while.
What the fuck was that?
Oh. So TM61 have returned, of course. They returned a couple weeks ago. Tonight they're going to take on the Ely brothers. The Ely brothers who look like Usher knockoffs for some strange reason.
Oh yeah, minus the wrist thing.
So.
Yeah,
it's the shades. It's the shades. That's what it is. It's like
Shades. Yeah, they are. Shades and face shape. So the Bar wins the match. And then we go into Cena versus Finn Balor. Qualifying match for the Elimination Chamber. Cena looked very frustrated with the crowd in this match. They really seemed to be getting under his skin. And this is the point where, you know, something dawned on me. Cena makes this face. Have you ever known, like, Cena makes this face like, the only thing I could do, the only thing I could really compare it to is he looks like a scolded puppy. You know, like when you yell at the puppy and the puppy's all like, that's what he looks like when he's trying to convey sadness, I guess. I don't freaking know. But the man looked like a scolded puppy because the crowd wouldn't cheer for him. Which is just fucking sad. Seriously. But in either case, John Cena with his magical golden shovel, he must have spent an extra hour under Vince's desk that night. Because he got to beat Finn Balor and go on to the Elimination Chamber. Oh, and that was how we ended Raw. Now, going into SmackDown, SmackDown opened with Shinsuke Nakamura coming out, and Shinsuke cut himself a promo. Some people don't like Shinsuke's promo. I enjoy them. They get the point across without being, you know, I guess we'll say overly articulate. And there is something captivating about the way that he speaks. So I enjoy Shinsuke's promos. They're fun. Now, Cammy came out to interrupt Shinsuke. Now, in case you're just joining us, Cammy, of course, is the pairing of Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. They were so coined by the WWE Champion AJ Styles. So, Cammy comes out to interrupt, and they have a gripe, they have a bitch, because their referee made some bad call, and that's why they didn't win the WWE title from AJ at the Royal Rumble. So, while they're bitching, AJ comes out. He joins Shinsuke in the ring, and proceeds to challenge Cammy to a tag team match against him and Shinsuke that night. Shinsuke's on board for this, and Cammy, they say no and they leave the ring. Oh, and they go to leave the ring. They come back and they tell them nope. AJ and Shinsuke attack. They lay out Cammy. Cammy runs away, and we of course then go to break. We come back. Cammy is backstage, and they are complaining to Daniel Bryan and this, that, and the other. And Daniel Bryan tells them, well, you know, AJ Styles doesn't make matches, but I do, and you're going to have that tag team match tonight. And then they get all pissed off, and they want another shot at the WWE title. And Bryan says, okay. Tells them that next week on SmackDown, there'll be a match in the main event that will decide who will face AJ Styles for the WWE title at Fastlane. And it will be Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn. So, it looks to... As of right now, it looks to me like maybe they aren't going to pull the trigger on this whole Daniel Bryan being an evil general manager. Although, I still think, I mean, here's the thing. One okay decision does not forgive many, many bad ones. And he has a history of throwing his weight around. He has a history of abusing his power. He has a history of eating soybeans and pretending that it's meat. You know, he's clearly deranged in the head. There's something wrong with this furry little hobbit bastard. And there's something even more wrong with the woman who married him. Her mother did a horrible job of instilling priorities and standards in her life, clearly, because she married a shaved cousinette. It's fucking sad. Okay? It's fucking sad. Oh. And for those of you on the internet that I've seen asking if Daniel ever looks at Nikki and thinks she's the hotter twin, I think Daniel's just happy that Brie has such low standards. So, moving on from there. Where was I, damn it? Oh, yes. You know, you keep saying that.
I will keep continuing to say that.
You know.
It made no sense. It's okay.
We then go into a fatal 4-way match for #1 contendership of the U.S. title. Kofi Kingston versus Jinder Mahal versus Zack Ryder versus Rusev. Okay. It was quite the fatal 4-way match. You know, the Singh brothers getting involved in the ring, out of the ring. A lot going on. I'm not going to go through it all. Rusev wins the match and then has himself a little stare down with Bobby Roode, who is at ringside. So we then go to the Usos. Usos give themselves a promo, and the SmackDown is doing this new thing with the graphics. It's very, very low budget YouTube. The graphics just kind of fly across the screen, and I'm going to be honest, it doesn't really look good, and it's kind of obnoxious, and I'm not entirely sure why they're doing it. I mean, it's become such a children's show that they've resorted to actually adding cartoon animations over the top of their live feed. It's bad.
Maybe they want to pull in more younger viewers?
No. Stop trying to pull in the younger viewers.
Why?
Their core audience has always been 13 to 30.
Maybe they want younger viewers.
For what? If they start gearing their show towards 5-year-olds, it's going to turn into something adults don't want to watch. Normal adults do not sit down with their kids to watch goddamn SpongeBob.
I watch cartoons.
So I guess I'm not normal.
Neither one of you are.
Actually, it's normal for a parent to want to know what their child's watching. But anyway.
Know what they're
I'm
watching.
ready.
Know what they're watching, yes.
You know
Watch
what's
it with
proven
them,
that,
no.
That kills brain cells watching that show.
Really?
And this surprises you. It's
I don't
SpongeBob.
watch it. Bella doesn't watch it either.
Anyways, see what I'm dealing with here? You see the chuckleheads I'm dealing with here?
She's your mom.
You are a product of her. Sir Carnage.
I am a product of many things in my life.
Does that make me Mother Carnage?
Yes, it does. Mama Carnage.
Mama Carnage.
Oh dear God, we are not putting that on a T-shirt. Believe me, we are not putting that.
are!
No, we're not.
Yes, we are!
Speaking of which, we do not yet have T-shirts,
Can I
but
get white
give
tea
me
Carnage?
time. What?
White tea Carnage?
This is not a thing.
Yes, it is.
This is not becoming a thing.
Yes.
We can't have
No.
family shirts?
No, you know what? We can do that if we ever go on a family trip.
Disney!
Why do you always say Disney? Why can't we go somewhere good?
Because Disney's the best.
Ay vey.
When it's not in the summer. Says the man who got me Disney gift cards for Christmas.
Yeah, well, that's just because it made you happy. So isn't it a husband's job to make his wife happy? So that she will
Usually,
then,
she
in
wants
turn,
to.
make him happy?
Happy wife means a happy life.
Well, I'm looking... Never mind.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the happy life I was after. Just, I don't know, happy hour.
Happy ending?
Kind of what I was implying. Ah.
Throwing down. What's happening?
It is? Fantastic.
Not in the way you want it to, sir.
Give me a gift card. I love you long time.
So...
She's a good buffer. She should stay around.
We then move into, we go backstage with Breezango and the Ascension, which has just gotten so ridiculous at this point. And they get interrupted by Gable and Benjamin, who insult them and tip over their computer table and challenge them to a match. So, and then we go to an in-ring promo with the Usos with even more of their fucked up cartoons. All right, and then we get the the Bludgeon Brothers in a match with some jobbers, and they squashed said jobbers. Because that's a jobber. That is a jobber's job, is to job. Jobber's job. That's hence the name jobber. It's a jobber's job to job.
Sound like an idiot. I said it.
Hey, honey, what do you call those big fat animals that are in the field, eating the grass, creating the milk?
Encourage?
I've never created milk in my life. I'm sorry.
They're moos and they make moo juice.
What is it you call them, honey?
How?
That's not what you normally call them. The woman who refers to bovine as moo cows is insulting the way I
I
speak.
don't understand what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like
It's okay.
peanuts. Wah, 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 wah.
Well, that would explain a lot.
I don't know.
So, what was that?
What?
What was that?
Nothing.
What shit did you speak?
Nothing. The other one was pretty shit.
So then Daniel Bryan makes an announcement about the top 10 list that they're going to be doing. Daniel Bryan wants to do a top 10 list on things that are important to him. Top 10 uses for tofu. Top 10 reasons to screw over a decent WWE champion. Top 10 reasons to not bathe. Top 10 reasons why Starbucks is the greatest place on the planet. These are all.
He might use recycled pee, but he bathes.
So, in case you didn't hear her, my wife, who's always on my ass for picking on Daniel Bryan, said he may use recycled pee, but he bathes. I think she has proven my point. Sure you are. Sure you are.
Oh, anywho.
So, yes, Daniel Bryan planning on doing top 10 lists. Goody for him. We then go to Shane McMahon with Ty Dillinger. Ty is upset, of course, because Ty got jumped by Cammy and didn't get to enter the Royal Rumble.
Start calling them Cammy.
Sami Zayn took his spot.
Confusing the hell out of me.
It's not hard to do.
What? Oh!
So,
You left yourself wide open for that one.
Fucking dude.
I'm sorry.
So, that being said, Shane agrees to. Corbin comes in, and Corbin's all pissed off, and Shane puts Ty Dillinger and Baron Corbin in a match for later that night. Charlotte Flair comes out and to give an in-ring interview. She gives the interview. Riot Squad comes out. The Riot Squad attacks. For a moment, Charlotte was actually doing pretty good against three people. And I thought maybe they were going to build her up to provide more hype for the match that I believe will undoubtedly happen at WrestleMania, Charlotte Flair versus Ronda Rousey. But it was not the not the case. So, yes, the numbers game got to Charlotte, and Charlotte was left lying in the middle of the ring after the attack by the Riot Squad. As the Riot Squad made their way into the back, Carmella's music hits. Carmella comes running down. She's going to cash in. And then she accidentally takes out the ref. And Charlotte gets to her feet.
Oh, but she meant to do that.
So Carmella grabs her briefcase and runs to the back and does not cash in. It was almost a very, very poor situation for Charlotte. And then almost a very, very poor situation for Carmella. And this just proves that Carmella does not need the chinless wonder to fuck shit up. She can do that all on her own. So, and then of course we get AJ Nakamura. AJ Nakamura. AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura.
You're doing great.
How am I doing, people? So AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura in the locker room. And AJ wants to know if, Shin wants to do a game plan. And Shin looks at him and goes, I'm going to beat you at WrestleMania. And AJ just kind of makes a face and goes, no. Like, tonight you want to do a plan. And Shinsuke looks at him and goes, I'm going to beat you at WrestleMania.
You did terrible, Shinsuke, just so you know.
Listen, miss, I'm going to switch between Indian and Russian accents. Shush. And then AJ, it was funny because AJ's like, seriously? Are you messing with me? And and Shinsuke goes, I'm going to... Yes, I'm messing with you. And then Shin tells him to just follow his lead out there and walks away. It was pretty funny. I found it to be very amusing. And I'm not easily amused. So, unlike many members of the WWE universe. Moving on from there. They interview Carmella, in which she claims that she meant to do that. She picked the old Vince McMahon logic from when he first started Monday Night Raw. If you trip over the rope, you meant to do that. So she's saying she meant to do it. Like a good heel. No good heel is ever going to admit that they did something wrong. So. What the fuck are you doing?
Do your thing, mind your business. Jeez.
Do you see this shit? Look at this shit.
No. No.
Okay.
None of their business.
So. Where was I?
You know they have razors where you can instead of just one way.
So, Ty Dillinger. We then go into Ty Dillinger versus Baron Corbin. Okay, and Ty Dillinger versus Baron Corbin. It was not so much. It wasn't a bad match. It was just a match. It wasn't a great match either. It was, and Corbin wins. Which, I mean, not for nothing. That shouldn't be a surprise to anybody. When was the last time Ty Dillinger won a match? Ty Dillinger has been with this company so long, I can remember when his name was Steve, and he was, in the back with a headset, pretending to be just a crew member, so that Shawn Michaels could kick him in the face. Okay? That's how long Ty Dillinger's been around. At some point, son, it's time to hang up the boots and say, you know what? I tried. I suck. I should get a day job. So, that being said, where was I? Yes, Corbin wins. We then get a Rusev promo concerning the United States Championship and, of course, Rusev Day, because that is all Rusev talks about these days is Rusev Day. And every day is Rusev Day, in case you did not know. Today is Rusev Day. Tomorrow is Rusev Day. Yesterday was Rusev Day. Your birthday is Rusev Day. On Christmas, we celebrate the birth of Rusev. Did you know that? That's what Rusev thinks, apparently. And on Halloween, it is Rusev Day. And on Thanksgiving, it's Rusev Day. Are you getting the trend here? Rusev Day, yes. So then we go to Bobby Roode, and Bobby Roode has a calendar, and he says that he has a very important appointment next Tuesday, and it says Rusev Day on the calendar, and he circles it. And so he says that it's Rusev Day. He then says that, but when you are the United States Champion, your calendar fills up quickly. And he writes glorious in the other days so that the circle becomes O for glorious. But if you were eagle-eyed, you would notice that he misspelled glorious, because of course glorious has more than 7 letters. There's only 7 days in a week, and he's trying to fit it into the calendar, so he misspelled glorious, something my wife continues to harp on because she is a grammar Nazi. So
you're the biggest harper of them all. I would not be saying shit about me harping.
I'm sorry, she's right. She's right. She does not harp, she nags. So...
I'm just dying because you said I'm right.
Well, don't get used to it.
You anytime soon.
It's okay. I'm used to the dry season. So, in either case, what was I saying?
Something stupid.
Well, I was talking to Gail.
The grammar Nazi?
Yes.
Glorious misspelled?
Really?
Yes, really. That's how aggravated I am right now with you.
So, that being said...
Thank you.
Well, I know you're going to need that. Yes. Bobby Roode misspelled glorious. Luckily, spelling is not a requirement for being United States champion. If it was, Corbin wouldn't have been U.S. champion. Dolph Ziggler certainly would have been. Well, actually, he was a cheerleader. He can spell some things. The point is, a lot of people wouldn't have been U.S. champion if you needed to be able to spell well. So, that being said, we then proceeded into a segment in the locker room with Kevin and Sammy, who are all bummed about the match next week where they have to fight each other. And they start taking little shots at each other, too. You start seeing the cracks, the breaks in this relationship. Cammy is headed for rough waters. So, that being said, we then go into Breezango versus Benjamin and Gable. Good match. I've never seen Benjamin and Gable have a bad match. And, you know, Fandango and Tyler Breeze aren't all that bad themselves. What?
Nothing.
Okay. Anyways, and it's Gable and Benjamin pick up the win. Might have been probably one of the better. It was definitely one of the better matches on the card. So, Gable and Benjamin, they pick up the win, and we then go into AJ and Nakamura versus Cammy, and match going on, and all of a sudden, you know, there starts this friction between Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, and Sami Zayn just walks out on Kevin Owens and allows Shinsuke Nakamura to get the pin on Kevin Owens. As Sammy watches from backstage. And then before they go off air, they get an interview with Sami Zayn, who says that Kevin has had many, many chances. He's held championships. He's got to look out for himself. So it's official that I think this teaming of Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn may be done. Unless they're playing some sneaky shit, which they might be doing. You never know. I mean, it is Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, and Daniel Bryan's involved as well, so I trust nothing. I trust nothing. You have the guy who looks like he should be working at Home Depot, with the guy who looks like he should be driving a cab, with the guy who looks like he should be serving lattes while not bathing. So I don't need not a single one of these individuals even belong in the WWE in the first place. Okay, it's because of guys who like them that we have these, that the independent scene is filled to the brim with you know, guys who are, you know, this freaking big, or with guys whose tits hang to their knees, who think that they're gonna be able to do this for a living. I mean, you got 45 50-year-old men still getting their asses beat on the weekends while they're chopping meat at the deli during the week, thinking they're going to make it big one day. Grow the fuck up. No, not anything is possible. At 50 years old, you're lucky if you can get your soldier to stand at attention without assistance. And you think you're going to be a champion in the WWE. Fuck out of here. Alright. So, that being said, it was with much anticipation that we then moved on to midgets on trampolines. Yes, 205 Live. I was excited for this because last week Daniel Bryan told us that we were going to get a 205 Live general manager, and I looked at my wife, and you can go back and watch the video, it's right there. I looked at my wife and I told her, you know what would be really good? You know what would be really cool is if they could get somebody like Rey Mysterio. You know, or even X-Pac for that matter. But Rey Mysterio would be really good because it'll draw eyes, because everybody loves Rey Mysterio, so it will draw eyes to the product of 205 Live. And then on Sunday, Rey Mysterio was in the Rumble. Like, my mind was blown. I was like, oh, they are going to get Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio is going to be the general manager on 205 Live. It made sense. It clicked. It went together like peas and carrots. And on 205 Live, Daniel Bryan walks out with Rockstar Spud. Excuse me. Now his name is Drake Maverick. And announces Drake Maverick to be the general manager of 205 Live. Okay. I thought you wanted to save this division. You want to save this division, give people a reason to watch it. Okay. Enzo's a rapist. So you can't have your whole thing focused around him anymore. I get that. Fire him. That's fine. No problem. Your brand still needs a centerpiece. Now, getting a well-known general manager would have been one way to create a centerpiece for your brand. If you're not going to do that, I ask you, pray tell, who is going to be the centerpiece of your brand?
Priest?
Centerpiece. Piece. You know that thing you say I'm not getting anymore? So, so who is going to be the centerpiece of the brand? Can't be the Brian Kendrick. He's out with a shattered orbital socket. I doubt it would be Hideo Itami. As much as I love Hideo Itami, he proved in NXT that he really wasn't clicking with the fans. You're not going to be able to build anything around him. Gentleman Jack Gallagher, I personally love Jack Gallagher, but you're not going to center the brand around him. It's not going to work. Did you let it duck in?
What you talking about?
There isn't a cruiserweight. All the cruiserweights on the roster are super talented. I'm not saying they're not talented. But they're not stars. Okay? Most regular people couldn't tell you who Cedric Alexander is. If I walk down the street right now and I pick somebody off the street and I say to them, hey, do you know Cedric Alexander?
I do.
They're probably going to think I'm talking about Alexander the Great and say that they weren't very good in history class. Okay. All right. Well, oh, I know. What about Noam Dar?
No, I don't know him.
No, they're not going to know Noam Dar. No. Tony Nese, they're going to think he was an extra on The Sopranos just by the name. They're not going to know who I'm talking about. You don't have the name recognition, and that's what you need.
I do?
Not you, them. WWE.
Okay, sorry.
You don't need name recognition. So, that being said, let's move forward with this decision that the WWE made, which is stupid. Secondly, for the next thing, Rockstar, Mr. Spud, Drake Maverick, lay off the fucking tanner, dude! Like, seriously, I've seen Oompa Loompas paler than your ass. No. Stop it. Stop it. So, Drake Maverick announced a 16-man single elimination tournament that will culminate at WrestleMania. And as he said the word culminate, I heard the rustling as every millennial reached for their phone to look it up because they've never fucking heard the word before.
It's because it's culminate.
Yeah, but he says it funny. Because he's English. So, and our first match was Cedric Alexander versus Grand Metalik. And, you know, again, if you're into the flippy floppy shit, this was a great match for you. I personally don't. I'm not a big fan of the flippy floppy shit. It leads to a lot of unnecessary moves, in my opinion. So, Cedric Alexander won that match. And woo, Tyler Bate just caught a knee to the face from Roderick Strong. I can't stand Roderick Strong. I don't like him.
Okay, he doesn't like you either.
He don't know me.
That's okay.
So, in either case, to be fair, I don't think I don't actually know him either. I'm just not a fan of his character. 1, 2, and Roderick Strong is the #1 contender for the United Kingdom Championship, which that makes a whole lot of sense, him being Canadian and all. Yeah, that makes sense. I thought the United Kingdom Championship was going to be for guys from the United Kingdom. I thought they were going to get their own show and whatnot. I guess the horrible numbers on 205 Live caused them to kind of pull the plug on that. But I digress. Shit, I said digress. Now I owe Taz money.
Nacho!
So, in either case, we then, after Cedric wins, we go backstage where Drew Gulak gives Drake Maverick roses. Which is kind of weird, Drew. I'm not going to lie. Giving another man roses is, you know, it's a little strange, you know. Oh. We then go from there to an interview with TJP, who gets interrupted by Drake Maverick. And basically, you know, the long and short of it, he tells, you know, TJP to go prove it in the ring, basically. TJP goes out there and has a fantastic match with Tyler Bate. Tyler Bate's matches are so goddamn good. He has a fantastic match with Tyler Bate, which TJP wins. So, now, I made a prediction the other day on my Instagram, and I made a prediction that is going... I'm curious to see if it pans out, okay? And it's a hard prediction to make because they're doing the whole 16-man single elimination tournament. But I am predicting that the Cruiserweight Championship match, the final of this tournament at WrestleMania, will be between TJP and Lance Dorado. Don't ask me why I'm saying that. It's just like that's the feeling I got. I'm going with the diaphragm on this one. You know, this is like that's just what I'm feeling. So all right. So that being said, we are all done with NXT. We are all done catching up on the WWE, and I'm going to bid you adieu. And until next time, until next week, I want you to remember one thing. It's very, very important. Okay. Carnage? It's right around the corner.